Hey everyone, today I'm going to be looking at the Cold Steel Rifleman's Hawk available on the Cold Steel website. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the product, looking at its history, and doing some testing. So this here is the Cold Steel Rifleman's Hawk. The design and name are based off 18th century tomahawks used in North America during the Revolutionary War and various wars between colonists and natives. The tomahawk is 36.5 ounces, or almost exactly 1 kilogram, or 2.3 pounds. It's 22 inches in length, and the head is about 4.5 inches long out from the shaft. The pole is a hexagonal hammer made of the same piece of metal as the axe head and faster, all made out of 1055 carbon steel and coated in black matte. The shaft is made of American hickory wood and has a nice oval shape to help with edge alignment. This thing's very solid and great for cutting wood, and just generally having fun with. Since it's an axe, it's heavier and more unwieldy than I would like. It feels like connecting with this blade would handily break whatever you hit, but you better hope what you're hitting doesn't move too fast. Having a wooden shaft and having a larger, fatter head makes this thing more unwieldy than modern tactical tomahawks. Still, the fun factor is at a 10, and the rustic feel to this blows the tactical equivalents out of the water. You can tell from the condition of this particular axe that we've had lots of fun with it, chopping wood, throwing it at trees, and even putting it through a door. Notice the white paint that just won't come off on the head? Unfortunately, the head has started to come a bit loose, but tightening it with an Allen wrench seems to shore it up just fine. The thing is $46.99 online, which may be a little too much in my opinion, but still not bad, especially for how cool this thing looks. The nylon sheath is not included with this, instead it just comes with a little plastic cover, but you can buy the sheath for $4.99 on the Cold Steel website. As I hold this in my hand, it just feels so cool and fun to use. The wooden handle makes it feel a lot more rustic and traditional than a lot of modern axes you get, like this one, but it actually feels more sturdy. There's not much to talk about with this, which sort of works in the end, since its simplicity is what makes this thing special. Were mostly guerrilla warriors who were self-sufficient in the northern woods and were armed with two main weapons, a long rifle and a tomahawk. The style and size of the tomahawk wasn't standard by any means, of course, but this representation by Cold Steel is relatively true to history in its construction. As for how the weapon is used, the beauty of it is its versatility. The tomahawk is arguably the most useful weapon as a tool, maybe other than a knife. You can split wood with it, bushwhack, and pretty much cut down anything you need to if you're out in the wilderness. The hammer on the back adds to this, as it can be used as, well, a hammer. In terms of combat, the axe head is of course very effective at delivering a powerful blow. The beauty of axes generally is that they take a lot of weight and concentrate it all on a very small area, and then the wedge shape allows for a more penetrative capability, and the edge can go very deep into whatever you're cutting into. You can try and hook with the weapon as well, and of course, you can throw it. The effectiveness of throwing your weapon can be debatable. I'm personally not very good at it, but historically this was a way that the weapon was used. The use of this weapon today is probably about the same as it would have been back in the Revolutionary era. It's heavier than its modern contemporaries, thanks to the larger head and wooden handle, so using that weight for a more powerful blow would maximize its advantage. It's probably going to be slower than most weapons you would use this against, but also would have a reach advantage. I suppose you could throw it as well, but generally I wouldn't unless you were good at throwing it and you have another weapon you can use to close in with as your opponent is recovering from their surprise or physical injury of your throw. As a tool, while this is fun and sturdy, I'm not sure I would recommend it for anything more than a gimmick. It's too heavy to be used as a hiking tool, and definitely not heavy enough to be used as a dedicated woodcutter. I only see this thing as filling some niche roles, like if you plan on cutting a lot of wood while out in the boonies, or if you want to use this for lighter wood cutting to spare your main axe's blade. Not surprisingly, this thing was actually very fun to test. It's not the sharpest thing in the world, but since it's an axe, it doesn't have to be. It cuts wood just fine, although it probably took longer than it should have given my technique. Cutting bottles and jugs was also satisfying, although the lack of an edge on this one sometimes makes it difficult. The axe didn't cleanly cut through the targets like a sword or machete would. Instead, it just sort of tore it open. As you can see with these cuts, there aren't any clean lines through. The end result is just a massive amount of cavitation. You can even see that with these targets there isn't much difference in damage between the axe head and the hammer pole. But the real fun with this came with the throwing. For anyone who has played around with throwing weapons before, you'll know it's not always as easy as it looks. Knives especially can be hard to get a hang of. But with axes, it's not too hard to get a grasp on. And once you do, you won't stop. It's like riding a bike. The sound of the axe head sinking into the wood that you throw it at is one of the best feelings you can get, maybe only rivaled by shooting steel at long range. The axe is big and rotates slowly, but that makes it easy to predict. What's more, if you're throwing at it something thin like a sheet of plywood, you have a double chance of getting it right, since the sheer mass of the thing will embed itself even if you impact with the wrong side. So, is the Cold Steel Rifleman's Hawk any good? Well, it's definitely overpriced in my opinion, just a little bit. Compared to the rest of the market, it's fine, it's just in my opinion, the material cost is definitely a lot less than $40. That's not to say it's a piece of crap, mind you. It feels very sturdy and the fun factor is all there. It definitely works for whatever you would want to use it for. But it's outclassed in pretty much every way. It's not as good of a chopper as a dedicated wood axe. It's bigger and heavier than a modern tomahawk, and the black mat makes it less viable for any historical reenactment than a coatless version. The pragmatist in me says there's no reason to buy this. That being said, if you do decide to buy it, don't be too disappointed with your choice. If you just want a jack-of-all-trades axe lying around, this is a good bet. While it's not the best chopper, it outclasses the much lighter polymer Tomahawk models. It's not the most portable, but definitely more so than a full-sized axe, and the sturdiness of this thing, black mat, and ease of repair if it does break, make this a good tool for a flex position in your arsenal. So if you're eyeing this, don't hesitate too much to pull the trigger. In conclusion, I really do like this. I know I'm kind of getting down on it, but I do actually like it. I don't want to end this on a bad note, so I'll summarize with this. The Cold Steel Rifleman's Hawk is very enjoyable. It may not be the cream of the crop, but it doesn't have to be. It's relatively affordable compared to similar items, durable, and it looks badass. Cold Steel does a perfect job with this and definitely kept the rustic spirit and heritage of the axe alive. As a motorhead friend of mine put it, a modern take on a classic car should be true to the original, only making minor improvements where the original creators themselves would have done so if they were alive today. And had the pioneers and riflemen of old been around today, I'm sure they would have come up with something just like this. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like these review videos and I'll make some more. If you have the Rifleman's Hawk or any other similar axe, let me know your impressions of it. Anyways, have a great day everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one.